Hello, I'm Colleen Holder and this is Let's Talk Tobago. Today we're coming to you from the villa clusters at Tobago Plantations Limited. There are 38 bungalows here, some with views of the ocean and golf course and special features such as skylights. 18 of these are managed by Sugar Mills Suites, the marketing arm of Tobago Plantations Limited. We'll take you on a walk through the clusters right after we tell you what's happening in our stories this week. ANR Robinson International Airport becomes the first in the region to get the ISO seal of approval. 10 Tobago bands head to Trinidad for the semi-finals of the National Panorama competition. And Tobago's filmmakers team up with an international director to show another side of the island's movie-making potential.
It's picture perfect with over 100 reasons to come. The intensely nurturing sensation of being so close to nature, the laid-back rhythm of the island, and of course the outstanding Tobago Jazz Experience 2014 brings to its main stage Keisha Cole, Grammy Award winners, Earth, Wind and Fire, Brandy, and the man himself, John Legend. Everything on one incredibly perfect island. The Tobago Jazz Experience 2014, April 19th to 27th. Much more than music.
Welcome back. You're viewing Let's Talk Tobago. We're at Villa 35F at Tobago Plantations, a deluxe 4-bedroom unit. Both the ground and first floors are standalone, with 2 bedrooms each and an additional bathroom on the veranda. And whether you're on the ground floor or upstairs, the view here is superb for watching golfers play the nearby 18-hole course. And while we're on the topic of green, 3 entities have been working to ensure that our island is really clean, green and serene. You see, ecotourism is seeing significant growth worldwide, and the European Union wanted to support islands like ours. So they have teamed up with the THA to implement environmental management systems at 3 locations, starting with the ANR Robinson International Airport. As Davia Chambers tells us, this was done through an international certification program.
The airport, the Riversdale Eco Lodge and Argyle Waterfall, and Adventia Farm and Eco Villas are places that are usually included on a tourist's itinerary. But as Tobago is known with its mantra of being clean, green, safe and serene, these are places that should fully support the mantra, even by international certification standards. Well, they're all now ISO 14001 certified by the European Union, which assures the company's management and employees, as well as external stakeholders, that environmental impact is being measured and limited with practical tools.
I hope that now that the European Union has given us this opportunity, it will be a catalyst to show that this island is really green, and the island has so much to offer.
The businesses are now on the cutting edge of social responsibility as they reduce the cost of waste management, reduce consumption of energy and materials, lower distribution costs, and improve their corporate image among regulators, customers, and the public.
Environmental management should not be seen as overcomplicated, and small business should not feel overwhelmed by these requirements associated with the environmental performance. It is actually relatively simple, tracking and reporting on 4 critical metrics and issues: waste, wastewater, water usage, and air emissions.
With help from this environmental management systems project, the organizations are now able to do more to sustain the environment.
We had all this water coming off the roof and there was no use for it. So we decided, well, okay, what about if we channel this water into a freshwater pond? And we decided to have a freshwater pond, but we would put red tilapia, hybrid red tilapias, which in a very short period would reach maybe a 2 pounds sellable size. So which would generate income for us to do other things.
The project is a collaboration between the Tobago House of Assembly and the European Union to provide support for non-state sectors in environmental management. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's the season of Pan, and more Pan as Trinidad and Tobago celebrates Carnival. And Tobago bands, both small and medium, got their chance to show off in front of the judges in a bid for the semi-final round of the National Panorama competition. We'll give you a little hint. Steel Explosion is 6th nationally, making them one of the 10 bands going to Trinidad to compete at the Queen's Park Savannah.
They played Spanking by Austin Super Blue Lions and put a spanking on their competitors in the National Panorama Preliminaries, which took place at Carnival City Dwight York Stadium last Friday. The Pride of Black Rock Petrotrin Cats and Jammers placed first amongst the Tobago medium bands and fifth overall with 259 points. Another Tobago band followed in seventh overall. NLCB Buccaneers played a tune by David Rudder, Madness. They captured 254 points. And the Carib Dixieland managed to take the 11th spot in the prelims with This Is It by Shirlene Hendrickson. In the small bands category, T and the Tech New Eastside Dimension totaled 259 points and is the top small band in the prelims competition for Tobago and placed 15th nationally. Taking the final spot as a Tobago band was Tobago Panthers, placing 17th with Kitchener's Toko Band. Meanwhile, the only large band on the island, RBTT Redemption Sound Setters, will automatically be in the semi-final round. 21 small bands and 14 medium bands are squaring off this weekend in the semi-finals at the Queen's Park Savannah. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
Well, we know when we hear Panorama, it means that Carnival is almost here. And this island plans to do things a little bit differently this Carnival Monday and Tuesday. We've told you about Carnival City, an area created at the Dwight York Stadium for Tobago Carnival 2014. But in this next story, you'll hear from the Tobago Festivals Commission on how other plans are coming along.
We are about 14 days away from what some wait all year for. 2 entire days of jumping and waving. As we approach the time for the best show on earth, as dubbed by many, Tobago is planning to hold its own.
2K14 looks good for us and for Tobago Carnival. We started our preparations, meetings, organizing, planning way back in October. We had our launching at the Magdalena on the 29th of November. That was quite successful. We exposed a taste of Tobago Carnival to the general public in Tobago and beyond. And we are looking forward to better things. The planning continued over the last 2 or 3 months. We've been meeting regularly with the special interest groups. That's MAS, PAN, Calypso.
Mr. Gordon says $5 million has been given to those special interest groups, so the expectations are very high.
I would like to think that because of the efforts by the groups to collaborate with us, we have been working together. And I see no reason why we can't have a great carnival in Tobago. We are looking at packaging the Tobago Carnival. We have given it a theme, Unleashing the Fever, which in common language means, hey, this is carnival, the carnival fever within you. This is the time to release it. The mass transformation, they're working hard at getting their bands together. We plan to visit the mass camps from time to time.
He says that our carnival here will be one of a kind, as it's going to be community-oriented, from Monday night mass to Juve and the parade of the bands.
We would like to think in future years, Tobago is going to be the place to come for carnival. We can't compete with Trinidad Carnival. If you like Trinidad Carnival, then that's the place you should go. Tobago Carnival is a carnival with a difference. We try to encourage the visitors, the villagers, to come out and be part of this, all in the interest of Tobago.
And in relation to another important aspect of Carnival to Tobago, steel pan, Mr. Gordon says Tobago bands have already shown that the island will be well represented in the national Panorama competitions. $8 million has been allocated for Tobago Carnival 2K14. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's time to take a break, but on the other side, Tobago is once again being immortalized in film. You're viewing Let's Talk Tobago. Welcome back to the villa clusters at Tobago Plantations Limited. Earlier we showed you a deluxe unit. Now we'll show you what the single units are like. These consist of the same layout as the deluxe, but with a skylight over the kitchen to let the natural light in. Now, whether in sport, culture or academia, Tobagonians are showing that they are among the best in the nation and even the region. But sometimes financial support is necessary to help achieve even more. In this next story by Umadara Mills, you'll learn about the assistance one credit union is giving to some youths who've excelled in the books.
The President's Award Medal winner, Shalimaya Peterkin, along with 21C students, have received financial assistance from Agricola Credit Union by virtue of their parents' membership with the organization. The grants are meant to assist with further education. The credit union's president, Joshua Spencer, says that through the awards, the organization continues to fulfill its corporate social responsibility, an initiative started over 15 years ago.
The mission statement of Agricola Credit Union is to provide an opportunity for members and their families, it's a family here, it's a family affair, to enhance the quality of their lives through financial cooperation, education, and social interaction.
One message which the bright young minds received from one of their own is that they should not quit.
When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns. And many a fellow turns about. When he might have won, he had struck it out. Don't give up though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow.
In addition to the grants, the President says its members and their children are also provided with job training opportunities, of which the President's medal winner is an example.
Shalimaya benefited during the summer vacation. She was one of our, they call them OJTs, but we, Agricola said, we give our members' children an opportunity to test the water of the world of work.
For some, the grants are valid for 1 year, while for others, the grant will go up to 5 years. The Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport supports any organization which recognizes academic excellence. I'm Umadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
And while Agricola is helping to feed young minds, this next story tells of a program which has been producing knowledgeable graduates in the field of agriculture for the past 10 years. You see, the world's population is around 7 billion and expected to reach more than 9 billion by the year 2050. With those numbers, food security is a major issue. While in Tobago, there are programs to encourage more food production so that this island can one day sustain its own people.
These are some of the graduates of the 9th cycle of the Youth Apprenticeship Program in Agriculture, YAPA program. Valedictorian of the class, Candice Woods, who also received her tractor training certificate, says that the group's solidarity and a determined spirit are the qualities which allowed them to get this far.
Some of us were great with our hands, and others would rattle off theory. However, we tried our best to walk one with the other, helping each other as we journeyed on. Even on those days, when we had no tools and no breakfast, we worked and we worked hard together.
The graduates completed the cycle in 9 months and 2 weeks and have been involved in both the theoretical and practical aspects of agriculture.
A key feature of this training program was field visits to the more advanced crops and livestock farmers in the extension districts in Tobago. Additionally, a 4-day visit was made to Trinidad to see agricultural production on a larger scale where farm visits were made.
And they have also been able to make suggestions on better farming practices.
During our tenure here at the farm school, we were exposed to a lot of knowledge and practical methodologies. Some we were totally unfamiliar with. We encountered numerous farmers on our island via field trips, and we were so well informed that we were able to identify some of the incorrect practices and made suitable recommendations.
The program is designed to increase employment, self-sufficiency, and engage more young persons in the sector.
Its main purpose is to provide young people with the opportunity and chance to become involved in farming, and also to demonstrate that farming can be taken up and pursued successfully as a career in a business-like manner.
Tobago's YAPA program, which comes under the Division of Agriculture, Marine Affairs, Marketing and the Environment, started in 2004, and to date, the program has produced over 120 agricultural graduates. I'm Omodara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
But in the future, crops won't be the only major production taking place here on the island. You see, Tobago has long been an attractive location for foreign film productions, with films shot on the island such as Fire Down Below in the 1950s, The Swiss Family Robinson in the 1960s, the local television series Turn of the Tide, and more recently the docudrama Tobago 1677. The film industry here continues to grow. So it's no surprise that another film has already been produced on this island. However, this film's production went beyond just using Tobago as an exotic location. Here's how.
Tourism is the island's major revenue earner, and you often see and hear of the experiences of the foreigners who come to visit. But in a new perspective, locals are getting a chance to tell their stories. This has been done through the film The Resort. The film's director, Shade Lamar Smith, tells us what audiences can expect to see.
I've never really seen a lot of films that were focused on workers in tourism. Most of the films that I've seen about tourism in the Caribbean have always been focused on the tourists themselves, who are normally outsiders. And so I decided to come and create a film that was focused on the workers.
34 of the 45 cast members are Tobagonians, while 4 locals were selected as part of the technical crew. One of the locals on the film, Dave Elliott, is the associate producer and the production coordinator. He appreciated the hands-on experience which they received.
Whereas most people today tend to go to the high-tech digital type cameras, these are actually old-school film that was actually recording on Super 16, I think it is.
Yep.
So what happened is that everybody on set, all the locals on set were able to see how a movie like this is shot with this type of technology.
After post-production of the film, the director hopes to come back later this year to screen the film and engage interested Tobagonians in film development workshops.
The workshops that we look to have will be in writing screenplays, acting on camera, directing actors on camera, and design and camera shot and placement on camera. So those are some of the workshops that we plan on actually having in August when we come back.
The Division of Community Development and Culture provided financial support to the venture. The division sees this film production as a way to further its film development initiative. I'm Omodara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
We're taking another break, but coming up, don't throw out those old newspapers just yet. The Japanese have come up with a novel way of recycling them.
Ain't this what you came for?
What's up, it's John Legend. I'm very excited to be coming back to Tobago for the Tobago Jazz Experience on April 25th, 2014. I want to see you in the place, so make sure you get your tickets at www.tobagojazzexperience.com. I'll see you there on April 25th. Peace.
The night I let you know.
Thanks for staying with us. You're viewing Let's Talk Tobago, and we're in Lowlands at the bungalows of Tobago Plantations Limited. This villa is one of many that line the beachfront. The yard is ideal for entertaining a few guests or hosting a barbecue or picnic. After all, what can be more enticing than falling asleep and waking up to the sound of the ocean? However, only professional swimmers should enter these waters. Well, from professional swimmers to professional cricketers, the Shore Park facility played host to the Nagico Regional Super 50 Cricket Tournament. Trinidad and Tobago was carded to play 2 matches on this island. Let's find out why this tournament is so special to Tobago.
After 7 years of no regional cricket on this island, the starved Tobago public got its taste firsthand as this island hosted the Nagico Regional Super 50 Cricket Tournament. Our home team, Trinidad and Tobago, took on the Leeward Islands at Shore Park.
Unfortunately, one of the days we had a rained out game between Barbados and CCC. But fortunately for Trinidad and Tobago, they were able to play against the Leeward Islands, and we were victorious in that game. And the scores, I think we dismissed the CCC for 140, and then we got the score for the loss of 5 wickets with Duane Bravo top scoring with 42.
While Trinidad and Tobago is commended for playing well, the Tobago public is also highly praised as the match saw over 2,000 supporters.
Just by checking, I believe that we had close to like 2,005 spectators at the Shore Park Recreation Ground. They were all crammed in, and some were actually, commenting, they were arguing with the Tobago Cricket Association for the need of a better and a more bigger, spacious facility. And it's something that we at the Tobago Cricket Association and also the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board and the West Indies Cricket Board are looking at the moment. I know that the Tobago House of Assembly played an integral role in having these 2 matches played here in Tobago. I know that the TV Secretary, he was there on both days, and he would have seen the turnout from the public, and he would have heard the comments and, of course, some of the recommendations.
And Trinidad and Tobago's Red Force was able to make it to the semi-finals round of the tournament, where they played a nail-biting clash against Jamaica. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
And whether it's sport, public education campaigns on health issues such as HIV, or the hosting of children's fun events, Tobago's civil society groups are doing what they can to give back to people on the island. Even with the best intentions, though, additional resources and financial support are needed. Here's a look at 2 groups which received a little help for their community activities.
The THA often assists people and their organizations as they seek to make their communities better places. Trisha Benjamin Joseph of the Canby Mount Pleasant Women's Group collected a check for the work her group did around the Christmas season last year.
We went to at least 3 houses doing a cleanup campaign, assisting them in cutting the yard, maybe doing a little cleaning on the inside, and also distribution of hampers to them.
And the group has other outreach events planned for the future.
We want to really go out there and embark on working with the senior citizens, those that sometimes they want to go on a little field trip. We want to embark on doing a field trip with them. Beside the cleaning, we want to also have a sit down and have a chat with them. Sometimes they're lonely, so we want to have a sit down and have a chat with them sometimes.
The Liberty City Recreational Club of Delaford is another civil society group which received financial reimbursement for their annual children's party. The interim president, Kendrick McPherson, says that his group sees recreational activities as ways for more solidarity between the young and the old.
We ourselves go about a lot of outings, sea bathing and other recreational things, tour guide rides and so on. And this year we are trying to see if we can encourage the young people to get involved and that they themselves too can find ways and means to recreate and encourage others to join.
Besides these NGOs, 4 other organizations have been given financial assistance in this batch from the Office of the Chief Secretary. The checks distributed totaled $23,500. I'm Umadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
And here's another initiative for the island's youth. We always hear about the importance of recycling materials, reusing items, and reducing the amount of waste in the environment. With the global eco-friendly conscious movement, some people may find that reducing their carbon footprint is easier said than done. But some groups in Tobago are actively keeping their island clean and green with some sheets of newspaper, glue, and a pair of scissors.
I found it to be very good and fun because I get to learn how to make bags out of newspapers.
The art form of origami is an ancient Japanese practice, and it is being seen as one of the ways in which Tobagonians can endorse sustainable living and think about environmental issues. The bags, which have been made by these children, were skillfully folded and glued together using old newspapers and can hold a few kilograms of items. Program Officer for the UN's volunteer program, Hitomi Yoroshihata, says that it has been a new experience for her dealing with such young persons.
This is the first time we had a workshop with very young children. I'm very glad that they enjoyed, and also they some of them become very creative, and they found their own way to make bags, and we're glad that they enjoyed.
And for those who may think it a daunting task to make the bags, this Scarborough RC student, Michael Smith, who with the rest of his classmates finished his bag in just over an hour, has this to say about the process.
It's really creative, like really creative, and you could like have real fun doing it.
Another participant is a Standard 3 teacher of the Scarborough RC School, Anne Williams. She says that the class will assist the students in the real-life application of the reduce, reuse and recycle concept.
So to be able to reuse materials, simple materials, to make something wonderful that we could use for birthdays, Christmas parties. We don't have to spend $10 for it. We could just create our own. So I think it's wonderful. I hope they have more.
The newspaper's bag-making workshop was done with community and youth groups. In addition to fostering an eco-friendly culture, the event also commemorates the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Trinidad and Tobago and Japan. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
And it's time to have your say, the segment of our program where we hear from you, our viewers. It's been just over a year since the new Tobago House of Assembly administration took up office, and within that time a lot has happened, with one of the most significant events being Secretary Hilton Sandy's absence from office after he suffered a stroke. To fill the void left in the Division of Infrastructure and Public Utilities, the THA has made some changes at the top. Former Education Secretary Gary Melville is now the Secretary for Infrastructure. Secretary Huey Cadet has been moved from Settlements and Labour to replace Mr. Melville at Education, while Councillor Dion Isaac, who held the post of Assistant Secretary in the Office of the Chief Secretary, will be sworn in as Secretary for Settlements and Labour. So today we're asking, how do you feel about the reassignment of the THA secretaries?
Oh, well, it is good to have a reshuffle and thing, you know. Yeah, because I do believe that you're supposed to have one person in one position all the time. You're supposed to shuffle around the system, so I believe that is good for the THA.
I believe once they can do the job, then let them do their job well.
To me, to my past experience, it's supposed to be a good thing.
If one person is unable to perform his duties because of illness and is not able to return to duty in quite a while, then the job needs to be done.
Nothing wrong with the shuffling as long as they're getting the job done. Nothing wrong with that. You always have to keep people on the P and Qs, so nothing wrong with the shuffle.
Good. I think they are all capable of doing what they're supposed to do. I think they are all capable.
When it's time for it, I believe they should make a change. If somebody is not doing the job properly, they have to put somebody to do it.
And that's how we bring this week's edition of Let's Talk Tobago to a close. Do remember you can send us your comments to information at tha.gov.tt or visit us at www.tha.gov.tt. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Colleen Holder, on behalf of all of us at the Department of Information. Have a safe and enjoyable week. And as we go, we leave you now with a final look at the villa clusters at Tobago Plantations.